Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who decided to take everything down with them. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Someone I used to have in a support group I once helped run for sexually victimized and abused young men shared with us what happened to him. I'm not going into the finer details of it, but the broad stroke is he was being victimized by a TA. He went to other teachers, school admins, and even police. No one believed him, and he even got punished for making it up to get a staff member in trouble. It destroyed his personality. He became bitter, resentful, spiteful, and genuinely hateful of other people. He was improving his demeanor in the group, but from what he tells us, he just wanted to watch the world die at that time. A couple years later, the same TA tripped down the stairwell in one of the side hallways of the school, and he happened to be nearby. He saw she was badly injured and likely had broken bones and was bleeding from her head. Instead of helping her, he literally stepped over her and pretended she wasn't there. Security footage showed he wasn't the one to push her, but when asked why he didn't say anything or get help, he simply said the last time he tried to tell people about something involving her, no one helped. So why would they this time? Ah, wow. Crazy. Yes. This is the level of pettiness I like. Okay, maybe that's a bit too evil, but honestly, she kind of deserves that. If you're gonna sexually abuse someone, you get all the karma that's coming to you. One of my friends from elementary school, he's the typical middle child. His brother is 11 years older and his sister is 5 years younger. So of course he faces all the actual consequences for his other siblings' actions. Rules he didn't like were because of stuff his brother did when his brother was a kid. If his sister did something stupid, it was his fault because he should have stopped her. His wants and needs were never the priority. If he wanted money, no, because it went to his brother in college. If he wanted friends to come over, no, because sister already had people coming over. He had to wear his brother's old clothes, but of course his sister got new clothes. Yada yada, you get the picture. When he was 16, he went out on a late night food run, and while waiting in the drive-thru, someone rear-ends him pretty hard, does a not insignificant amount of damage to his parents' car. The other driver takes full responsibility, offers to pay for the repairs. Just an unfortunate accident. Well, his parents revoked his car privileges because he got in an accident, and they had no accident policy. Didn't matter that it wasn't his fault. So he told them that if they took away his car privileges, he would never lend them anything for the rest of his life. They grounded him for saying that. That was about a decade ago, and he has never once given them anything. No money, no car, not even housing. He literally made his parents get a hotel once. He said he would forgive them if they apologized. To my knowledge, they have not apologized. By the way, his sister was involved in an accident a few years back where she was at fault, and her parents not only paid for the repairs to her car, but also are helping her pay for her car insurance now. Dang. Dude, these parents are taking favorites to the next level. It's not his fault, and he still gets blamed for everything. It does kind of make me think though, if something were to happen to him and they had to pay the medical bills, would they pay it? That sucks, man. It sucks when some parents just favorite one kid way more than the other. Obviously parents are gonna have favorites, but they shouldn't show it so freaking obviously. Holy, what are you trying to do to your kids? I was lied to by HR and it led to me not getting a promotion. I basically put them in a position where I couldn't be replaced and messed with Excel codes I made for them that saved managers 6 hours a day. I didn't correct what I knew would get us high fees, since it wasn't technically my job. Then I quit. 700k in fines. Nobody trained to do scheduling, department without anyone to run it, and additional work for the managers was the damage. I started getting calls to help fix it. I'm sure you can imagine how well that went for them. Honestly, why would you mess with somebody who has the upper hand in your business? It doesn't make sense. It's just like a business messing with their own accountant. That's stupid. I met this kid while in junior high, knew him his first year in high school. Back in 78 and 79, remember the movie Carrie? He had that for a mother. He was super religious and had to pray multiple times a day, carried a large Bible with his school books, wore old-fashioned formal clothes, 1950s style haircut, and horned-rimmed glasses. His mother punished him because she saw us talking when he got off the school bus. I guess I didn't pass the friend standard. He was so unsocialized and awkward. He was grateful to speak with anyone, and I didn't make fun of him. I guess it got to be too much. He didn't come back to school for sophomore year. I later learned that while his mother was sleeping, he dosed her with gasoline and set her and the bed on fire. She lived, and they just disappeared. I never heard of him again. Wow. Holy. I'm like in between. I'm like, he would be better off without her. But at the same time, what he did was just cruel, you know, like lighting someone on fire. No, but seriously, that's crazy, because we always hear stories about this as well. Like the mother or the parents treat the kid so bad, the kid ends up killing the parents while they're sleeping. Or something, you know? It's crazy. Man, I feel bad for him. His mother literally had friend standards, like who he could be friends with and everything. Jeez, like why are you gonna have a kid if you're gonna treat him like that, man? That's crazy. Like, your kid's life is not your life. Stop it. Like, literally, some parents think that's just the best for their kids. But, dude, really? Is that the best? You're making him unsocialized and awkward and he doesn't know how to do anything by himself. Like, come on now. That's not the best. I remember I blamed my parents so much because they were so overprotective of me when I was a kid. Because they wouldn't, like, allow me to go out with my friends and hang out with them after school. And I would just be like, freaking hell, dude. And now look at me. I don't even go out anymore. Jeez. I mean, honestly, I don't mind that because I have Coco. So lucky me. Lucky that I have Coco, because I feel like if I didn't have Coco, I'd be a bit cuckoo. One of my friends in high school was a major overachiever, stayed at school or work as much as possible, to the point where he may have spent an hour or less at home a day. He would stay at school for that long where he'd only spend like an hour at home? That's crazy. He would always deflect questions about his home life, but confided in me that it was bad. Calling him the black sheep of the family would be a major understatement. His family had some money, not millionaire or billionaire, but better off than most, and they told him from elementary school he would always be useless and never amount to anything. He's making bank after getting through college and finding a great job with a company. Meanwhile, his father's company that has been in the family for a few generations got picked apart by the government. Someone tipped them off that he was lying on taxes, hiring immigrants for next to nothing, hiding OSHA violations, and much more. As the dust was settling and the damage was already being seen, my buddy drove to his former family home and dropped off a file. The same file he gave an attorney that gave it to the government, and only said he won't amount to anything. Crazy. Good. If your family is gonna be shitty to you, then take them down. I mean, that's just justice being served. It's not like he did something to frame them of something. It's just, you know, they did something bad and karma caught up. Jim moved to my school in 5th grade. He was socially awkward, but you could tell he wanted to have friends. Was it because of his weight? I honestly don't know. It's not like he was the only big boy in school, but for some reason, Jim got singled out. He was tormented mercilessly. I'll give Jim credit. He took it. But how could that not get to him? Still, he took it for years. Finally, one kid went too far. In the 8th grade, some asshole accidentally spilled his lunch all over Jim. Jim was sitting by himself, of course, and Randy thought it would be funny to humiliate Jim in the cafeteria. That particular day, the school had served something messy like chicken fried steak or spaghetti or something like that for lunch. Something that gets everywhere if you spill it, and spill it. Randy did, all over Jim, and Jim snapped. I mentioned that Jim was heavy. What that translated to apparently was immense physical strength. Nobody had been paying attention all those times in PE when Jim would climb the little rope thing without using his legs to pull himself up. He was a powerhouse. And Randy poked the bear one time too many. Randy's face was a mess of blood and bruises. Jim gave Randy exactly as much mercy as everyone had given him, which is to say absolutely zero. Randy's parents filed a lawsuit against the school district, but I have no idea what came out of that. All I know is that Jim and Randy were never seen at the school again. The teachers and principals all understood what Jim was up against. There's no way they didn't know how miserable he was. But school is a lot like prison. The people in authority don't actually care what happens to you. All they want is for your stuff to stay off of them. As long as you don't make your problems their problems, they're fine with whatever. So Jim was left to twist in the wind, as victims always are. A few years after graduation, Jim was in the news. He had robbed a convenience store and then gotten shot to death by the cops. The news coverage mentioned a troubled childhood filled with violence, but I was around for a good bit of his childhood, and on my watch, except for one occasion, the trouble and violence were completely one-sided. Jim couldn't get a fair deal even in death. Even the news media had to pile on. Man, that's so sad. Wow, that's actually really sad. The fact that nobody defended him when everyone was against him, and then he did something to protect himself. And then, you know, obviously after like years of teasing and bullying, it does stuff to your brain. Like, you're just not the same person anymore. You just feel like nobody cares about you, and you just feel like you don't have anything more to add in life. And I can see why Jim went down that road. It's always so sad reading stories like this. The fact that you know they could have been a great person and had a good life if this didn't happen to them. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!